Hello everyone, my name is Moji. You're watching a Bitcoin bubble news channel. Capital is something that every organization, school, charity, family, business, and government needs, right? So Bitcoin will just become more popular as a way to make money. In a way, it's the best fiscal marriage possible. It's an online bank where everyone works together. Each person who joins the network makes it stronger and raises the value of their possessions. And everyone has more power when more people join. In the same way, a group is pretty strong if every worker in the country joins it. There's no point in being in a group if no one joins. It's like, this is the main idea. What if we formed a union but paid for it with our own money instead of our own work? The group is not a work union. It's a union of money. Recently, I talked to F-Rat on The Voice. Michael Saylor, co-founder and executive chairman of MicroStrategy, talks about Bitcoin ETF and how it could change the financial world in a podcast. Bitcoin is selling around $61,000 right now. It has lost less than 1% in value in the last 24 hours and 5% in value over the last week. There are 21 million Bitcoins in circulation right now, and more than 19.7 million are being used. Saylor says that Bitcoin ETFs have opened up a new way for institutional capital to enter the Bitcoin ecosystem, which could change the way standard finance works. You should know that ETFs are a use business. On the Bitcoin standard are apps like MicroStrategy, Cash App, Strike, and other mobile apps. They're apps. The cryptocurrency platforms like Coinbase and Binance are also apps. People will finally add it to their mutual funds, pension plans, and insurance policies, so it will have more uses. All of the apps want Bitcoin. Each app steals Bitcoin because they need money. This is called capitalism because these are the capital markets. Every business needs money to run. Capital is what makes our society work. How much? $400 quadrillion in money. The world is worth $900 trillion. At least half of it needs to be cash or pure economic force. The problem that everyone wants to solve with cash is compliance, capital control, and following the rules. When ETFs were allowed in the US, there were some big investors with $50 billion, $100 billion, or even $200 billion to spend. These were pension funds and hedge funds. They have a lot of money, but the ETF was the only way for them to buy. They might want to spend a year setting up all these other tools, but they can't. Their laws don't allow them. So they have a problem with following the rules. Then there was the start of an ETF in Hong Kong. You can guess that if you buy Bitcoin through that ETF in Hong Kong, that Bitcoin is not being held safe in the US. It is best for the Hong Kong banking system for the assets to be kept at a Hong Kong regulated bank. Thus, the Hong Kong ETF would allow me to put money into Bitcoin if I am an investor, an organization, or a company in Hong Kong. The real importance of ETFs lies in their ability to solve problems related to loan access, compliance, accounting, ease of use, and reporting. It's likely that there will be a different ETF in each city or country in the world. No matter what country, the Saudis will have an ETF in Riyadh if they want Bitcoin to stay in Saudi Arabia. The people of the UAE will think, perhaps we'll keep one in Dubai. 34 people already have more than 1 million Bitcoin. I believe the spread will continue. There will probably be an ETF in every country. People in Argentina don't want you to leave the country with money. For them, the only sensible choice is an ETF where the Bitcoin is kept at an Argentine bank. But as that happens, you can see that the price of Bitcoin in New York will go up because the Chinese are buying billions of dollars worth of it. I believe that people haven't used Bitcoin as much as they could because they don't understand what it really is. This is because the industry as a whole has been called the cryptocurrency industry. People's first thought is that it must be money because of this. A coin is a way to buy and sell things. They think of money like the dollar, the yen, the shekel, and other things. They believe it is money. Right away, their first thought is, I know it's not legal tender, so trading it is a waste of tax money. It's not my government's favorite currency, so it must be against the law. It also doesn't make sense, isn't secure, changes value often, and isn't used to buy anything. That's why I think it's either stupid or dangerous. Let's take a step back and ask ourselves, what is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is a type of money. What does money mean? In its simplest form, money is a way to buy things, sell things, and keep track of money. But when it comes to storing value, money is more like property than cash, and when it comes to trading, it's currency. We haven't had a strong form of money as capital since the gold standard, so most people don't really think about it. The closest thing to that would be if you could hold gold as an investment and use gold or other pegged notes or paper money as a type of trade. If you think of Bitcoin as digital capital and the dollar as currency, you can see that currencies are just a way to buy and sell things. For a currency to be a good medium trade, it needs to be legal tender so that you can send and receive it tax-free. Of course, the dollar is the main currency of the world. Other countries will also have their own money. The dollar, the yen, the peso, and so on. Any country that is a good nation-state will have its own currency. If a nation-state fails after a war, it may become a dollarized country. States will use the euro instead of their own currency if they can't keep one. They will also use the dollar or the Chinese yuan. That's why there are 120 currencies and at least 180 countries. If you live in a place like Argentina, Turkey, or Lebanon where the cash currency is falling apart, you would choose the stablecoin over the dollar because the dollar seems like a good way to save money. You would have had 1 billion pesos if you had changed 1 million pesos into $1 million 25 years ago. So it's fine to hold on to it as an investment and use it as money when your economy is falling apart. So if you know that Bitcoin is a form of digital cash, your first thought is likely to be negative, ignorant, and upsetting. If you change the story and say, hey, it's digital property, you're going to buy that instead of a building, that is a very easy thing to do. It's like you live in Africa and have $10 million. If you have $10 million, you can buy any business, building, land,